Bishop Spiewak, Emir Salim, Councillor Edward, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to welcome you all to Government House this afternoon. Good relations and understanding between those of different faiths seems to me to be more important today than perhaps ever before. Religious and other forms of hatred can be deeply corrosive and can even lead to violence and terrorism, as we all know. And as we've seen all too starkly, not just in history, but in this past year, with attacks on places of worship in Christchurch, New Zealand, and in Sri Lanka. On the other hand, religious tolerance and identification of the values that different religions share in common can help to build a more peaceful society in which individuals of different faiths work together in mutual respect. It is for that reason that I am pleased this afternoon to be witnessing the signing of a document here in Bermuda between the Roman Catholic Bishop of the island and Emir Salim as part of the wider goal of promoting human fraternity. Let me now hand over to the Bishop and to the Emir to tell you just a little bit more about this initiative. Bishop.
Thank you very much. Well, I believe that what was already mentioned by His Excellency is very true. Religion should always be an instrument of peace and reconciliation, should never be instrumentalized and used as a weapon and bringing one human being to another, against another human being. So, as a kind of our small initiative towards peace and fraternity, I am very pleased that this initiative has been proposed to me, and I am really happy that this afternoon with Emir Salim, we can just exchange this signing of the document. The document is an important landmark in the history of the Catholic Church for sure, and Muslim religion as well, Islam. And it brought hope in the middle of all turmoil that we are living. And it is my hope that our repeating of this gesture of Pope Francis and the great Imam of Abu Dhabi is going to bring more peace, reconciliation, fraternity here in Bermuda between various cultures, religions as well, and traditions. It's a small thing, we can say, but the big buildings are built of small stones and small bricks, and I hope it's only just the departing point. Then, while we would be deepening our knowing one another, we can also understand better one another and truly nourish mutual respect and bring this as our contribution to the beautiful island in which we are privileged to live. So I'm very grateful to His Excellency for his welcoming us here and witnessing to this historic act of fraternity between Catholics and Muslims here in Bermuda, in continuation of this big act accomplished by Pope Francis and Great Imam of Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Bishop. And let me now turn to Emir Salim, with whom I've also been very happy to work in my period here as Governor. Sir.
Thank you very much, Governor and Bishop West. It's a pleasure to be here, especially because during these times, very often people sit in what they call silos, separate, sort of little enclaves, and they just, they sort of wonder, what can we do? So when this proposal came to me, it was very easy for me to agree that this is a great thing to do, and that is to make an agreement. And this is not something that I penned along with Bishop West. This was penned by as Bishop West, some gentlemen overseas, and I think it was February the 4th, right, of this year, early this year. His Holiness Pope Francis and His Excellency Imam Ahmed Tayyib, originally from Egypt, and he's the Imam of a great institution called Al-Azhar, an institution of learning. So from my point of view, I find it's both a pleasure and a great thing that we're all here. In Islam, which is, I guess you could say in the West at least, it's a misunderstood religion in that people tend to think it's some strange thing. Whereas for me, I see it the opposite, because as a college student, I converted from Christianity to Islam. So for me, both faiths very, very familiar. And to be frank with you, we have much more in common than we have different. That's the truth of the matter. So I want to say that it's very important for us to have dialogue between especially between the people who say they're Christian and the people who say that they're Muslim, because we have so much common ground. Excuse me. For example, did you know that Abraham is the common thread that binds Judaism, Christianity, and Islam? We all look and revere this great prophet of God. So we should go back and rekindle this relationship between ourselves and Abraham, and through our prophets that we say that we want to emulate. Look to their example, because they were all peacemakers. They all brought peace to their communities and to mankind in general. So we say that we go back to the basics. And so for me, it's easy, because I'm familiar with both faiths. And I can say to you that whether it be my mother or my brother or my cousins, aunts, grandparents, and so on, it's very easy, because in Bermuda, we know each other, and that's a good thing. I know probably 2 or 3 people in this room for many, many years. And so we don't have to make peace amongst each other too much, because we're already friends and relatives and so on. But we should spread this peace to the outer society, because Bermuda is like a microcosm of the world itself. So again, I'm very pleased to be here, and I acknowledge indeed that this document is a very special document. I hope that many people take the time to read the document, because it's very strong. It's detailed, and talks about the rights of the innocents and the rights of every human being. A person is a Christian or a Muslim or a Jewish person or a person who has no faith whatsoever. It identifies everyone as being in need of protection from violence or so forth and so on. So thank you very much for having me, Governor. I know I spoke too long. But I'm grateful to everyone for being here. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you. And these are indeed important principles, and as you stated, Emir, we are fortunate on this island to have good relations between different churches, different religions, and different faiths. Long may that continue. May this document help to strengthen those good relations, and also help to spread the message more widely to our neighbours and friends across the world. Can I ask you both now, please, to sign your copies of the document, and then we'll hand over so that your signatures together are borne on both copies.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
I suppose on the front, but okay.
Do you want to sign the front at the top on either side, or
At the top? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Wherever you wish, sir.
Good, thanks,
So
Alan.
if you'd like to sign.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
May I put the date?
You certainly may, and today is the 17th of December.
As it was just observed before we enter this beautiful hall, today His Holiness Pope Francis is celebrating his 83rd birthday, so it's a very special day for me as a Catholic bishop as well.
Thank you. Thank you, and now if I may. Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you. I wish you well in your future work, and I believe we are now going to release a bird as a mark of this event, and I'd invite everyone to come and join us for that ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much.